What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Spin Fuel's Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today is Fresh Build Friday. That's right, I've got a brand new coil to show you guys, and I've also got a little bit of a review for you as well. Today I'm going to be showing off some Mad Rabbit wire. This was given to me by Sean from Mad Rabbit at VCCPA. Real nice guy. I really appreciate him giving me this stuff for review, as well as showing you guys this build and others using his wire. Basically, this is the same chemical composition as G-Plat wire, but at a much lower cost. He only sells this stuff for like $10 to $12 retail. It's really cheap for 20 feet of wire. You can't go wrong with that, especially comparing the price to any of the other name-branded wire on the market today. And with that being said, it really has a nice clean taste to it. The coils last a long time. I think even longer than Kanthal. I've had the same exact build on here since VCC Pittsburgh, and it's still rocking. Let me just show you a quick little cloud production shot right here. So there you go, that's just a little preview of things to come. Let's go down to the close-up view. I'll show you guys the build that I have on here currently, and then I'll show you how to build it. Alright guys, so real quick I did want to show you my build that I've had in here since VCCPA. And this is a 9 wrap, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're doing 9 wraps of 22 gauge Mad Rabbit wire, and this stuff is badass, let me tell you. For 9 wraps, this stuff gives you a super low resistance. Right now it's reading 0.13 ohms. Hopefully you guys can see that. So yeah, for 9 wraps, that's pretty incredible for a dual coil. This stuff is really low resistance, so if you're going to be using it, be very careful, especially on a mechanical mod. Want to make sure everyone builds safe. So real quick, I'm just going to rip this build out and then we'll get started. Alright, so first things first, we're going to get out about a foot of wire here. For this build, we need a little bit more wire than we normally do, so I want to make sure I have enough for 9 wraps for a dual coil. Just got to find the beginning. There we go. So yeah, that's about as much wire as I'm going to need, I think. So I'm just going to go ahead and clip it off there. And I usually I'll grab it like that and snip it off on the other side. Alright, so I'm going to be using my coiler jig today. You know, I get made fun of all the time for using a jig, but I don't apologize whatsoever for it because it's so easy to use. So that's 2 wraps, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I have just enough room to push my coil over towards the center. And the way I do that, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a close-up here. Alright, focus. And the way I do that is I take flat pliers like this. I just grab the wire right next to the coil and bend it 90 degrees so it's parallel with the actual jig itself. And then I just leave a little gap and I bend it right back. So that's all the room I'm going to need for this particular coil since it's so huge. That's all the room I'm going to need to leave on that side there. Then what I do is I just take off that coil from the jig and then put it back on real quick so I can straighten out that positive wire. Just like that. And there we go, we have our first coil already done. And that's why I like using the coil jig, because it's super fast and super easy to do, especially when I'm at the shop working and people want to build. That way I can get their coils done in no time flat. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that process, and I'll be back for step 2. And just like that, I have both of my coils ready to go. The thing I really like about this stuff is it's very malleable, it's easy to work with, and it's not as rigid as some of the other types of wire. Alright, so I have my mod ready to go. I'm just going to insert my coil into the far positive post, and as I align it, I want to tighten down that negative. There we go. And I want to get that coil to sit right over that the bottom airflow. So I'm going to leave a little bit of room like that, and then tighten it down again. And before I install the other coil, I do want to go ahead and clip that excess wire. There we go. Ooh. There we go. So that's one coil all set. And don't worry about the looks of it quite yet. We're going to neaten it up in just a minute here. So for this process, sometimes you do have to lift up that other coil. Just reinsert the jig and lift it up a little bit. And of course I have my mod turned off because you don't want to be accidentally firing your mod when you're installing your coils or anything like that. Safety first. Alright, so there we go. There's our second coil. You want to get it right even with the other one. Okay. Just leave a little room. Alright, now this is the tricky part, actually cutting off the positive end of this wire. Negative's pretty easy, but the positive can be a bit tricky. If I can lift it up and get under there, that's what I usually do. If not, I try to just snap it off somehow. Which, this one I think I might be able to get it. Yep. A little bit more. You don't want to leave that wire too long, otherwise it might short out the other coil. I think I got it. I think that's manageable. Alright, so now I'm going to just position my coils right over that bottom airflow. You just want to reinsert whatever you're wrapping around and just move it up and out of the way. You want it sitting off the deck ever so slightly. And double check all your screws before you go ahead and wick it. Or pre-fire, I should say. See, that's why I double check. Always double check. Alright, so it looks like everything's tight. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the mod itself and we'll do some dry firing. So I'm not going to fire it at 100 watts quite yet. I'm just probably going to go down to 50 watts or so and just see how it fires up real quick and check my resistance. So it looks about the same now. Right now it's reading 0.11, but it'll probably jump up just a tad when I fire them up a little bit. So you want to just kind of pulse fire it. You don't want to do full bore quite yet. And any hot spots you get, you want to just tighten up those coils ever so slightly. So we got one coil lighting up nice. Now we got to work on the other one. And even after you've tuned your coils a little bit, I always now triple check the screws because that wire might change shape a little bit. So I'm going to turn up the wattage now. We'll go up to 70 watts. There we go. Now we're looking pretty good. All right, so I think we're ready to wick it. So I'm just gonna pause the camera and get my cotton ready, and then we'll wick it up. All right, so as you can see, I have my cotton all set to go. I'm gonna use a pretty thick slab of this stuff today, a little bit thicker than I normally do. And I'm just gonna roll the cotton to where I feel like it's gonna be a little bit tight in the coil. So I just take one end and just kind of pinch it up together, and say right about there. And you want this stuff decently tight inside the coil, otherwise it'll shrink up a little bit and it'll change shape. So you want it a decent tightness. So I just roll one end like that, grab my mod, and I'm gonna attempt to do this. If it's too thick, all you got to do is just rip it out and try again. It's trial and error. And actually that feels pretty good to me, right about there. So that's where I'm going to leave it. And I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the process for the other coil. And I usually just tear off just a little bit on the edge, just so I don't have any hard edges. Alright, so that looks pretty good to me. Let's go ahead and trim those wicks off. I'm just going to use about this much cotton. And slice a little bit more on this side. There we go. And now what I do is I just take a flathead screwdriver and I fluff it up a little bit more. And insert it into the well. I try not to squish it in there too much because you don't want it clogging on you, especially not at 100+ watts. So there's your finished product. That's what your coils should look like now. And today I'm going to be using, let's see, what do I want to use for juice? Here we go. Today I'll be using some Voluptuous Vapors. Oh my God. And this stuff I picked up in Jersey, with a big shout out to John for giving me this stuff. This stuff is great. Let's go ahead and drip it up here and see how she vapes. You just got to be a little bit careful not to over drip. So now I have it set to 100 watts. And this one really shines at even higher wattages, so I'm just going to bump it up a little bit more. We'll go to 140. There we go. Alright, so that does it for the build section of the video. Let's go back to the main screen and have a vape. Alright guys, that was the close-up section of the video. Now I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on this build as well as Mad Rabbit wire in general. So as far as this build goes, the difficulty on it is really not too hard as long as you're used to building macro coils, especially with the Mutation X V4. If you have one of these things, it's a lot easier to build than any 3-post stripper, especially with the width of this coil, because that way you can center it a lot easier by using the opposite positive post. The ramp up, ramp down time ramps up pretty quickly. The ramp down time is a little bit longer than I would have liked, but other than that, I really enjoy this build. I think anyone should try it, especially if you have a higher wattage box mod like the IPv3Li or the Sigelli 150 or the Snow Wolf or anything like that. I definitely recommend this build, especially on the Mutation XV4. I say that especially because the bottom airflow here keeps the coils a little bit cooler and prevents any severe dry hits. So as far as Mad Rabbit wire goes, I really like this stuff. It keeps the coils very clean for a long period of time. It's very easy to rewick, and it doesn't gunk up as fast as normal Kanthal, in my opinion. The flavor on it is really great. Vapor production is stellar. It is very, very low resistance, so if you're building this on a mechanical mod, be very careful and always use your ohm readers. Build safe, guys. Can't stress that enough. Other things about this wire, I mean, it is relatively inexpensive, so I definitely recommend you check that out. I will have the link in the description if you want to get some for yourself. Again, huge shout out to Sean from Mad Rabbit for hooking me up with some of this stuff to try out for you guys. I will be bringing you more build videos using this stuff in the near future, so thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button if you liked the video. As always, subscribe and check out me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, my Tumblr blog if you want to check that out as well. All the links are in the description below. Check out spinfuel.com for lots more of my videos, as well as Smoke and Joy and Spin Fuel videos. And as always, vape on.